Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video. This is another one in my vlog series that I do through the Memphis Songwriters Association in conjunction with the blog that I write for them, talking all about songwriting and what has worked for various artists over the course of a handful of years, whether those songs have been hits or not. So this latest kick that I'm on is called Poetry in Motion, and it is all about songs that started off as poems and then became songs later. A little bit of background. When I was 8 years old, I started learning about rhyming. My mom would read Dr. Seuss's Happy Birthday to You every year on my birthday, so I had been exposed to it, but when I say learned about it, I mean in formal school lessons. I remember writing poems about seasons, and at that point, felt that it was important to rhyme as much as possible in those poems, which I translated to some of the earliest songs that I wrote. As I would later find out, not all poems are songs, not all songs are poems, and not all songs have to rhyme. But some of my favorite songs started off as poems, and some of my favorite writers have been able to make that transition seamlessly. So that's going to be our focus for this particular blog and vlog kick. We're going to start off by talking about Lacy by Olivia Rodrigo. Lacy began as a poem that Olivia wrote for a class at the University of Southern California. Though not all poems have to rhyme, like I said, one of the defining characteristics of most poems is the repetition within the stanzas, and each verse's first line uses Lacy's name. The repetition works well with the narrator's obsession with the titular character. Whether you're writing a poem or a song, painting a vivid picture is key in hooking your reader or listener. Olivia does this by mixing passive-aggressive compliments with straight-up lust, with the line in the first verse, "Lacy, oh Lacy, skin like puff pastry, aren't you the sweetest thing this side of hell?" and later referring to Lacy's compliments as bullets on my skin. My favorite hit to come out of Nashville in the past decade or so is Girl Crush by Little Big Town, due to its vivid imagery and twist on a common phrase. To me, Lacy works just like Girl Crush does, but due to its vague nature, it takes it to a whole new lyrical level. There are many theories as to who this song is about, but what makes it work so well, in addition to what I've already mentioned, is that we're not sure as listeners whether this is a former romantic interest, a former friend, or a former colleague who did her wrong. When my friend Joe was reviewing this blog, and he has some great blogs as well about music theory, but when he was looking over this particular blog, he thought that it seemed like it might be about imposter syndrome too, and I really, really like that theory. We'll talk a little bit more about that because in a lot of Olivia's songs, the thing that I love about her is that it always comes back to her own decisions. Throughout the whole song, we get to hear about how toxic Lacy is for her, but the twist at the end is that she says she despises her jealous eyes and how they fell for you, as well as her rotten mind and how it worships you. So this could be somebody that she wants to be like, so that's where that's coming out. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the structural section. Melodically, though, Lacy is written in E flat and uses an arpeggio picking pattern on guitar, with the capo on the first fret, raising the chords shown and mentioned by a half step. She uses D in the intro, followed by D, B minor, G, and D in the verses, which gets played 4 times. This is a 1-6-4-1 pattern, and that also gets repeated in the middle 8. We'll talk about middle 8s a little bit later in a new blog. The chorus uses E minor and B minor, followed by F sharp minor, E minor, B minor, F sharp minor, E minor, B minor, F sharp minor, E minor, B minor, G, and G minor. That alternates between the 3, the 2, and the 6, before ending on the major 4th and the minor 4th. So structurally, the song uses a verse, chorus, middle 8, verse format. Like I said, we're going to chat about middle 8s and bridges in another blog or vlog, but the basic difference is that middle 8s precede verses while bridges precede choruses. Stemming from a poem, this song would have been just fine without a chorus. But as I mentioned when I talked about the verses, there's a vagueness as to why the narrator is so envious of Lacy. The further we get on in the song, we get more details. She's pretty, she's successful, and everyone loves her. That sounds like a celebrity, so that imposter syndrome thing holds up. Why does that eat away at the narrator so much, though? She's got everything, or this person has everything. Why is she so jealous? Well, later she mentions lingering around her like perfume. That's in the chorus, and the absence of the chorus, like I said, might leave us without the theory that it's about imposter syndrome and that Lacey is the person she wishes she could be. It makes sense in the larger context of Guts as well, its parent album, and when we talked about the song Teenage Dream by Olivia Rodrigo, I think I might have mentioned that, how the first song starts off with her trying to live up to her own expectations, society's expectations. Then you have everything in between, including Lacy, and she talks about, oh, I wasn't able to live up to those expectations that you put on me and that I put on myself. So that imposter syndrome theory is very legitimate. With that being said, though, you guys can listen for yourselves, see who or what you think Lacy is about, because it is linked below. Thank you so much for watching. I am Minnesota Mike. Make sure, in addition to checking out my other vlogs, make sure that you check out the Memphis Songwriters Association's blogs on their website. Like I said, you got one about music theory by Joe Matthews, and then you got the ones about what makes a good song. Those are my thing, and so you can check out all of those, and that is on, like I said, the Memphis Songwriters Association website. I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much for tuning in.